Alrighty guys, we're back for Disguise Burn, and this is a Murders at Karlov Manor standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Rockin' 4 Pyrotechnic Performers in here. This is a 2 mana, 3/2 with Disguise for 1 red. So you may cast this card face down for 3 mana as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2, and then you turn it face up any time for its Disguise cost. So only 1 red mana for Disguise is actually pretty good, man. So whenever Pyrotechnic Performer or another creature you control is turned face up, that creature deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Okay, so if we pair Performer with things that boost that power, then that should be a chunk of damage getting through, right? So hopefully we can actually get a little bit of setup. Easier said than done in the current standard where there's just like way too much removal all the time, but hey, you never know. The main build around was Performer, so hopefully it does a thing today. So like we pair this with cards like Monstrous Rage, for example, or like Giant Growth. It's a 4 of in here. This is a 1 mana instant speed. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Okay, I actually think this is going to be terrific in this build, but we'll see, huh? Maybe we end up dropping a couple. Maybe we just want more like protection spells or something too. I called it Disguise Burn for a reason, so we have some Play with Fires, of course, all 4 of them, and then all this instant speed nonsense is going to pair beautifully with Prowess style creatures, so like Fugitive Codebreaker. This is a 2 mana, 2/1, Prowess and Haste, nice. Now the Disguise on this one is 5 and a red, so really steep. However, the cost is reduced by 1 for each instant and or sorcery card in your graveyard. So with all those early instants, hopefully we get the Disguise relatively cheap. And then also has that bottom ability. When Fugitive Codebreaker is turned face up, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. And that's not a you may discard your hand. Whenever this is turned face up, say goodbye to your hand, but at least you're stocking your hand with 3 more cards. So hopefully in a deck like this, we only have like 1 or 2 cards left in hand, or none, right? And then we get that restock, which of course could be really good. And if we have any amount of setup with the Performer, I'll tell you what, dude, the Codebreaker's Prowess, like flipping and then like dropping a Monstrous Rage on it, which by the way, guys, I didn't get to really test this, so hopefully we get to test this today. So I believe how this works is you can either buff it before you flip it. I'm pretty sure it'll still carry over when you flip it, or you can go full control, flip it, and then on the stack of the flip, you can go ahead and like drop a Monstrous Rage on it. And then that should still boost the amount of damage going through with the Performer. So like I said, hopefully we get to test that out today. Now we do have other things in here that work with the whole like face down disguise theme, like Goblin Maskmaker here. This is a 1 mana, 1/2. Whenever Goblin Maskmaker attacks, face down spells you cast this turn cost 1 less to cast. And of course that like stacks if you have 2 Mask Makers swinging in, then potentially you could go ahead and play your face down cards for just 1 mana, which sounds really, really good, huh? Outside of that, like you're swinging with a 1/2, so how often is that just gonna like die? Probably really often. So you're potentially trading this out just to get some cheaper face down things. So actually don't know how much it's going to do today, but I hope it does a lot more than what I'm saying right now. Speaking of which, guys, like with these face down disguise cards, we actually don't have any 3-drops here. And that's because the curve, like realistically, I don't know what the curve looks like in this build. When the Performer is going to be a 3 mana card sometimes, and Codebreaker is going to be a 3 mana card sometimes. And then also we have Bolrac-Clan Basher. That's going to be a 3 mana card sometimes. So outside of that, it's a 6 mana 3/2. We probably never cast it at the 6 mana cost though, because it has that disguise for 3 and double red. It has double strike and trample as well. So what ends up happening is we just treat this as a 3 mana 2/2 with ward. When it comes time, potentially flipping that disguise over, right? And then maybe like a double strike trample is pretty good, man. Maybe dropping like a giant growth on this or something could help you clean up a game. I don't know. We'll actually see how much it ends up doing today though. And we do have some protection packed into the build. Gaea's Gift. This is a 2 mana instant speed. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So another way to give a little boost to the creatures that we end up flipping for like the Performer. Just try to get as much damage through with that Performer as possible. But then also, like, the creature gains reach, trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. That's a lot of things, dude. That does a lot all the time. I like Gaea's Gift. I suppose this could be your protection spell of choice, right? I think so. I mean, yeah. This could totally be your protection spell of choice. Now we do have some more creatures packed in. We have Picnic Ruiner here. It's a 2-mana 2/2. And when it attacks, while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Picnic Ruiner gains double strike until end of turn. So as far as like combat tricks go, you'd want to make sure that like you play your Giant Growth before you actually attack with the Picnic Ruiner to go ahead and give that the double strike. But outside of that, hopefully we just have power 4 or greater creatures often while attacking in with this. And then of course, yeah, if like the opponent doesn't have like a chump blocker or something, or even if they do, going Monstrous Rage onto Picnic Ruiner has proven itself, especially for our opponents, right? You do that before combat, then you swing, and that's just a very powerful double strike creature. Also has that Stolen Goodies adventure side, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Yep, just like buffing our other creatures, as we know, goes a long way. More stuff to fit that face down theme. We have a couple Expose the Culprits. Excuse me, guys. This is a 2-mana instant speed. Choose one or both. You can turn target face down creature face up. Oh, okay. So instead of paying 5 mana for the Clan Basher, we can just go Expose the Culprit, flip that double strike trample that way, and then maybe still have that open mana for something like that Giant Growth. So that could be really cool. Then it also has this bottom ability, exile any number of face-up creatures you control with Disguise in a face-down pile, shuffle that pile, then cloak them. That's really cool, man. So to cloak them, they just go back face-down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. So maybe we get to reuse the ability on the Performer or something at that point. Some top-end cards here. We have a couple Hide in Plain Sight. This is a 4-mana sorcery speed. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You cloak 2 of them and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And again, to cloak it, they just go face down as 2/2 creatures with Ward 2, and then you can turn them face up anytime for its mana cost if it's a creature card. Actually seems pretty decent, doesn't it? So 4 mana, 2/2 creatures with Ward 2. Yeah, and like the whole face down theme like really just works with that Performer again, so more face down card theme things. Yarus, Roar of the Old Gods. This is a 4 mana, 4/4 legendary creature. Other creatures you control have haste. Okay. Whenever one or more face down creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay. Whenever a face down creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control if it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. Okay. So Yarus unfortunately has the biggest target on its back. This thing's gonna die, dude. But hey, you never know. Maybe we'll be able to protect it with a Gaia's Gift or something. Okay, the mana base, guys. We have a whole bunch of dual land that I thought about a little bit. I opted for Rockfall Vale because I just feel like in a deck like this, we'd rather have that 4th mana coming in untapped than just like more early land with the Copperline Gorge. That being said, I still opted for quite a few dual land because there's going to be a lot of instances where, like, yeah, we still want the green mana, but we're going to need to do like 3 red things on the same turn or something. So you have a lot of dual land over here. Also checking out the new Branch of Vitu-Ghazi. So it taps for a colorless. It has Disguise for 3. So what we want to think of this as is if we end up flooding out, which we only have 24 land in here, which should be enough for this style of build. But if we end up getting too much land, we just kind of want to think of this as like a 3-drop creature. It comes out as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2, of course. Now for the Disguise 3, acts as like a little bit of mana fixing. Because when it's turned face up, you add 2 mana of any one color. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Pretty cool, man. Yeah, I like it, but more often than not, it's just going to act as a creature when we end up not needing to play it as a land early on. Who Endures, Crucible of Defiance, of course, heavily leaning into the mountains because the deck is heavily leaning towards red. Some honorable mentions over here. Okay, so I thought about Audacity, but just like more instant and sorceries for Codebreaker made more sense. Royal Treatment, yeah, totally your protection spell of choice over the Gaia's Gift. Royal Treatment could be really good. Thought about other cards like Antagonize. we're thinking about antagonizing, we got to think about Titanic Growth, right? Thought about different burn like Lightning Strike, that could go a long way in here, and other cards that work with the face down cards, but I actually think they're going to be a little janky, like the Tunnel Tipster and the Tin Street Gossip. Unfortunately, not making the cut. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Okay, I don't know what to expect. I really don't. Standard's so rough, dude. I don't know. I just feel like we're going to have a lot of explosive power, but in order to do that, we need a little bit of setup, and setup can be really difficult. So, okay, opponent goes first here. Okay, we keep 7. Yeah, so I guess I'm expecting jank. But like the type of jank that just like really surprises us when it pops off. Now let's get that Mask Maker down. No need to get the Restless Ridgeline down right now. Okay, I guess we start with the swing here. Well, we'll get the forest down. We might go opt for protection, but I don't think so. So that makes Codebreaker the face down side one less. That's pretty cool. So we got to do that already. And like the ward 2 on this might really come in handy if this is mono black or something. Phyrexian Arena. Oh my, okay. So how much do I want to do here? Probably keep Gaia's Gift open. Monstrous Rage for the turn, or just keep like 2 things open. With Play with Fire. Yeah, we'll swing for 3. That's pretty slow. I don't want to... Yeah. Maybe it would have been better just to play Codebreaker face up, right? Yeah, maybe. We have Gaia's Gift open. That's important. To be able to protect one of our creatures. And then Play with Fire open, potentially acting as removal for a weaker creature or just hitting the opponent's face. Okay. Yeah, so like Play with Fire to the opponent's face wouldn't be a bad thing to get the scry. I suppose. Either way, Shieldred's going to be a big problem. Okay, Performer. Okay. That's good. We want to see that. If we end up swinging, they might leave the Maskmaker alive. I want to do this. So we go draw, first of all. We have nothing that can take care of that Shieldred. So I could put Performer face down. We could swing, have it cost 1, and then keep like a Monstrous Rage open, or flip it on the same turn since they are getting pretty low. They block here, or maybe they let this Maskmaker swing through. Either way, I wouldn't mind keeping that 1 open. Having Performer go face down. Oh, they decide to let it go through. Okay. Yeah, they thought about it for a second. Since they're getting some life gain here. Yep. We're just going to poke the opponent's face. Well, first of all, I didn't play my tapped land, which would be pretty good if it was untapped too. Because if it was an untapped source, then we'd have the Gaia's Gift open again. As of right now, we can flip this at the end of their turn and then set up for the Monstrous Rage. Flip the other card next turn, right? With the Expose the Culprit. Because right now it's still very expensive to flip that. Oh man, yeah, they get all that life gain from the extra draw on the arena, so they're back up to 15. Shieldred's a problem, dude, but one isn't. One isn't Shieldred, you know? Liliana. Okay, we do have a really good sacrifice with the Maskmaker, luckily. But they might go discard here, which would be... Okay, they go for the sacrifice. Maskmaker, unfortunately. Poor little buddy. Okay. They go for passing back. We're going to flip this now. Turn this face up. Okay. And then, like I said, we're going to have trouble flipping this. So, well, first of all, let's see what we draw. Play with Fire. Not bad. Not bad. What's the order that we want to do this in? We want to maximize the amount of damage. We want to flip this up with the Expose the Culprit. And then when we flip this up, we're going to discard our hand, so we're going to lose the Play with Fire. So we won't have the Play with Fire to boost the prowess. So we start with Play with Fire, right? We start with Play with Fire, get them down to 10. Maybe we actually wanted to hit Shieldred there. Okay, I'll keep Codebreaker, I suppose, right? Right? I think so. Okay, and then how we want to do this is we want to go... Okay, hold on. We want to go full control. Expose the Culprit. Turn target face down creature, face up. Onto you. Submit 1. A, we're still in full control. We let it flip face up. We're still in full control. Okay. We want you to activate first. We go Monstrous Rage onto the Codebreaker. Oh, I guess we could have played the Play with Fire to get the prowess. Yeah. As long as we're in full control here. That's 6 extra damage to the opponent's face. We restock our hand. Get super punished for the Shieldred. And then, yeah. So on this, we full swing to the opponent's face, and that should be 4 getting through. What a time, bro. Holy cow. I wanted to make sure I played that out slowly, but then we still ended up messing up a little bit because on the stack, I still could have played the Play with Fire to get an extra prowess through, which honestly, that's going to matter sometimes. Every bit of damage matters, so woo. Woo, buddy, that was cool stuff, man. Holy cow. Yeah, definitely one, you got to think it through completely. So it definitely took me a second. I was running down my timer. Without the Expose the Culprit, though, the Codebreaker's Disguise would have been way too expensive, right? What was it before that? It was 4 mana to flip the Codebreaker. But if Codebreaker was another performer or something, oh man, yeah, that would have been wild. A wild explosive damage. Getting there against Mono Black feels good. Getting there against a board that has Shieldred on it feels pretty good, you know what I mean? Even with that block. Oh man, that was a good one. It was a really good match. Now hopefully we can keep up that pace, right? Let's keep the ball rolling. So full control worked, yeah, you flip it, you have the full control on, so you're able to go ahead and stack it with things like Monstrous Rage or like Giant Growth or whatever. Is this good? Okay, we'll keep this. We have 24 total land. We should be able to see our third. Until then, we have the Scry on Play with Fire. You could always play Performer as a 2-mana card. But I'll tell you what, with these Giant Growths and the Performers in hand, gonna be Dread Knight Sorcery side, huh? Okay. Let's get that Scry, because I want to see land. Keep that mountain, I would say, right? And I guess we do start with, well, Performer probably dies right away. I wouldn't mind flipping 2 Performers when it came time. That is a lot of setup, though, isn't it? So I'll get Forest, and I think we still just play Performer as a 2-mana card. I think that's totally fine. Aw, Liliana comes down. So Performer's out of the equation, and that would have gotten around the ward too anyways, so definitely something to think about. And now we do have that issue where Liliana's going to have us discard next turn as well. But hopefully we'll actually be able to swing. Hopefully we'll be able to swing at the Liliana. We don't want to get rid of the Forest because doubling down on Giant Growth, honestly, dude, depending on what they play, if we turn face up, if we turn this face up and go double Giant Growth onto it and get a swing at the opponent's face, oh, they get a blocker down, unfortunately. But hey, maybe we see a Monstrous Rage off the top, huh? So with the blocker on the board, am I still going to just try for the explosive and get rid of the, Yeah, you know what? You never know, huh? The discard definitely sucks, but... Ooh, more land. Ooh, that's really bad, isn't it? Well, it's still a ton of damage going through. We'd force the block, but then they get the draw on the Dread Knight. Okay. We have a problem. They got the -2 on the Liliana. So, like, I suppose we can test the other side of this, and we can test buffing this before the flip, right? We might as well test both sides in the first 2 games. That's really sick, dude. Holy cow. Either way, they chump, so it doesn't matter. We'll swing at their face. See, if they didn't get the blocker down, they probably would have held, like, removal open instead, but still, like, that really showcases just the tremendous amount of explosive power a Performer can have. They probably just go -2 on Liliana to make sure that's out of the equation. That was sick. Yeah, since it was a 2-2 on the other side, when you flip it, it's a 3-2, so it is actually 9 damage. They say goodbye to their Liliana, and probably goodbye to our hope at that point, too. 1 turn away from the Monstrous Rage. Dude, I'm so sad. So that trample would have gotten us there. Oh, man. I don't know if it's worth the risk of playing the Karplusan Forest, because if they play Liliana number 2, then we lose the Monstrous Rage, which would be really bad. But at this point, I actually think they're going to pull ahead quite easily, especially now that Shieldred's on the board too. It is going to be Liliana number 2. Oh no. So see, we could have discarded the Karplusan Forest to keep the Monstrous Rage around. Well, you never know when we need 5 mana too, though, sometimes. Like, it's 5 mana to flip the Bolrac-Clan Basher without an Expose the Culprit. I say we still play it out just to see what's on top. Yeah, 1 turn away from the Monstrous Rage. That's a little heartbreaking, isn't it? Oh, that would have been such a sick victory, too, against Golgari. We're going down to 6 here. Actually, they could have swung with, like, Restless Cottage, too, huh? They go all the draws on the Dread Knight. And they still have lethal next turn with the Restless Cottage regardless. Super curious to see what's on top here.
You won't be outsmarted.
They get rid of a cut down. They must have another cut down. Oh, Expose the Culprit. Huh. Huh. Exile any number, so we can, any number can be 0, so that's why we can still cast that, huh? Interesting. We can totally play this even if it doesn't have a target to, like, boost a prowess and stuff. And then just choose 0. I mean, that's good. That's good to note, right? I'm actually going to play it on the opponent's turn just to see what it says. Aha! I activate my trap card. Expose the Culprit. So any number. Okay, it just chills. It just goes to the grave. Good game, opponent. See if they... Let's let them swing on in. They might have the quest where they attack with creatures, which happens to be one of the most annoying quests, which I haven't really gotten recently. Is that still a quest? Or do I just, like, auto re-roll it without even thinking about it? Game, opponent. Yeah, what ends up happening is sometimes you get, like, a nice stocked board state, and sometimes you're crunched on time, and then the opponent concedes, and you're like, no, I just needed to swing with 4 more creatures, and then you have to hop into another game to get the quest done. So it can be a relatively annoying quest that we like the opponents to go ahead and complete. Sometimes. Sometimes, if they're not taking too long, right? All right, so far... yeah, it's about what I anticipated. Man, that Monstrous Rage just 1 turn late. So, like, Giant Growth showing its weakness, not giving Trample. But of course, like, if it was +3/+3 in Trample, that would just be absolutely disgusting, which is why Monstrous Rage sees a lot of play, because +2/+0, and then the monster roll essentially does the same thing, and the monster roll sticks around too. Okay. I don't think I mind this hand. It's just a little bit slow. Like, no turn 1 scry with the play with fire. I don't really mind that though. Okay, Swift Spear. A turn 1 play with fire, pick up the Swift Spear would have been good too, see? So like, Performer. I think we'll just go ahead and get the Picnic Ruiner down. See if it gets picked up by the opponent's burn. More mana off the top. We do got 24 mana in here, so seeing the third should be relatively easy. That's a Lightning Strike that's not eating our face. So that's good. We do find our third. Good stuff, man. We can go Performer. We could go Explosive again and try to outpace them. We could go Safe. Nah, dude. I mean, plus, like, the face down card, this uses all of our mana too, so we're being efficient in that sense. Now, we only have four mana cards in here, and 2 of them are in hand, so... yeah, we're going to take that. Okay, nothing extra from the Swift Spear, so maybe I should have attempted the block. Wow. Giant growth, dude. Holy cow. Well, I mean, before the flip, while it has the ward, like, we don't want them to play with fire this, right? So we go giant growth. Yeah, if it's a play with fire, then we'll still have the ward, is the thing. Monstrous Rage. This is wild, dude. What on earth? Then we flip it. We turn it face up. That's 9 damage. I can't believe how much we're actually able to do that. Now, if they don't win this turn, we have the play with fire to hit their face, and I'm pretty sure mono red isn't going to have any life gain here. Holy cow, dude. And I say, like, if they don't win, because with 3 mana, 14 damage would still be pretty difficult for mono red. I don't know what they would have to do. Like, they would need a Witchstalker Frenzy, nice. Like, they would need, like, to play another Swift Spear, and then, like, 2 Monstrous Rages or something with that 3 mana, and maybe that would have gotten them there. Good game, opponent. I'll just do the play with fire to not hold them up here, because we could have swung with Codebreaker's haste, too. What a time. What on earth, dude? That, okay. The setup with the Performer is wild. Like, imagine playing turn 2 Performer into a turn 3 face down Performer, and then just doing all that and not even worrying about the swing. Like, on the next turn, you flip the other Performer, give it all the boosts possible. Like, holy cow. What a time, dude. I can't... I can't believe it's working so well, first of all. Like, what on earth? And yeah, if they would have saved any blockers back for some reason too, like in that match, we actually had the Monstrous Rage for the trample, so... yeah. Jeez, man. Now, as far as, like, all the ward goes, when we play him as 3 drops, yeah, the sacrifice effects are definitely going to be the worst case scenario. So, like, the Liliana decks are definitely, like, awful for this. Opponent goes first. This is a bad hand. We should mulligan. But, however, I'm going to give it a shot because I do like pushing the decks to their absolute limits and seeing what those limits look like too. So, like, you never know. We might draw really well. Like, Yarus isn't terrible. Okay. It has been a second since I've been up against a domain build. Oh, Codebreaker. Okay. Let's see if Codebreaker gets picked up by their yeah, Leyline Binding. Wow, right away. That's not a bad hit for us. Better the Codebreaker than the Yarus, right? Passes it back. They have 3 open. All right. We've gotten, like, really good draws so far. Ward 2 is huge for us, but it could be Leyline Binding number 2, pay the 2, so... we got 4. They pass it back. Wow. So now it comes down to, do we anticipate removal? Because, like, we could totally expose the culprit, double down on Monstrous Rage, and get that double strike through. That'd be, what, +5, 16 damage if it lands. So we have to just anticipate removal. And before the swing, we attempt the Yarus. Looks like a counterspell. It is. It's a Syncopate. Huh. Okay. We'll swing for 2. Yeah, some domain builds do run counterspells, so... Passing it back. That's 5 on the board, man. Find our 5th as well. We could flip this. The double strike's still really good. Again, expose the culprit. Like, we have to anticipate removal. We have to, right? I'm pretty sure. But with how all the other matches went... Yeah, what the heck, dude? Let's do this. Let's maximize the amount of damage. We'll turn this face up for only 2 instead of the 5, so that way we can go Monstrous Rage onto it. And like before we play the Monstrous Rage and everything, I want to swing first, because they might play the binding before we waste our hand. Nothing. Monstrous Rage number 1. Oh, Monstrous Rage number 2. That's another +2, so it's 8, so that's 16 damage. All right, and then we have the Play with Fire. Opponent, you need to remove this, buddy. Herd Migration. Oh, life gain. Oh, no. I mean, we still go Play with Fire for the turn, right? Herd Migration. Oh, no. More life gain. Yeah, it felt a little weird having the opponent not play anything with the 5 mana. Look at all this damage, though. Oh, man. And we do this. Like, oh, do we do it on their turn? No. While they're tapped out. Let's get the Scry. Picnic Ruiner doesn't have haste. It's still a creature, though. We should probably keep anything that we can actually play, right? Because I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure this Basher is not going to survive here, man. Like, there's no way they don't have removal. Sunfall. Yep. Okay, Picnic Ruiner, the adventure doesn't hit anything. Like I said, though, I'm pretty sure we still wanted to keep anything that was actually a creature. Yeah, we had exactly lethal without... Oh no, Atraxa. Oh no. Dude, I love how explosive this build has been so far. So Atraxa is probably the nail in the coffin, guys. I can't imagine getting over this. Like, we would need a wild draw here. Giant Growth. Huh. Forces the block and trades with the Atraxa. They gain 7 up to 13. Like, that's actually not that bad, is it? There is actually a lot of scenarios where we potentially could have won. It gains the double strike because it's a 5/5 before the swing. And then at that point, we're about 32 minutes in. I think we'll give it to the opponent. Let's see what's on top of the build, then give it to the opponent. I'm pretty sure that this is theirs, like, no matter what now. Like, their hand is beautifully stocked. They have all the mana they need. They are back up to 13 thanks to the lifelink. They have more life gain on Herd Migration, or they can just cast Herd Migration next turn. Hey, it's our land. It's our land, buddy. Look at that. And the ward, too. No, this... Yeah, it's the opponents. Let's give it to them. Drop the GGs. Let's maximum amount of games possible, since this is like a really fun explosive list so far. It kind of feels like it's doing a thing. It's like going back and forth with the victories, right? I think so. Like victory, loss. But the losses, like, man... The losses really felt like we were going to get there, huh? With just the amount of explosion hitting through. And of course, like, double strike trample in general, but when you include things like the Giant Growth and the Monstrous Rage with the double strike, it's kind of just insane to think about. No green source. I think this is keepable, though. I think we're totally fine. I'd love to see the bottom ability on the Codebreaker actually do a thing one of these times, too. Yep, I think this is totally fine. We have the early Scry on the Play with Fire if we don't need to remove, like, a Swift Spirit or something, which would obviously be the choice over the Scry. A Swift Spirit is a problem. Recruitment Officer. Okay. No, I'm going to practice patience here, guys, because if it's soldiers, then Brutal Cathar is just a much better hit. You know what I mean? So actually, Maskmaker was a good draw too, because now we get to keep the Play with Fire open and potentially get Codebreaker down, face down for 2. And the ward could really come in handy as well. So the Maskmaker would have been great last turn, but it's totally fine. Vanguard. Okay. Yep, see, much better hit. I would easily trade into that. They are going for it. Do we trade into that? I guess we do. 1 mana card for a 1 mana card. And then I suppose we still hit the Vanguard. That's still a really good hit, right? Right, yeah, I think so. I guess so. Okay, there's our 3rd mana. So we could still go face down Codebreaker then. Yeah, I think the Ward 2 can come in handy in a Brutal Cathar style build. I mean, Ward 2 comes in handy in general, so. Siege Veteran. 4th mana. Don't mind seeing it. Get that Yarus down. Siege Veteran's going to get over it in no time, though. Still, Yarus is pretty good. I guess we could swing, and then when they trade, it just comes out and then it flips? Nah, never mind. And it's not a trade anyways. The Siege Veteran is a 3/3. Buffed itself last turn. All Soldier. Frontliner. No Cathar for the Roar of the Old Gods. I think they do end up swinging with that Veteran. They do not. I was not going to accept that trade by any means anyways. Expose the Culprit is available to flip this face up if we want. And then we get a draw on that too. How do I want to do this? Because we could just spend 5, get some card draw to flip that face up. I guess I don't mind that. We end up discarding our hand, though. I apologize, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. If we go Codebreaker number 2 face down, then we have Expose the Culprit, flip the other one face up. Like this. They all have haste anyways, so either one of these would have been fine. So we discard our hand, draw 3, then that went face up. Oh, Yarus? Whenever one or more face down... Oh, the card draws when the face down creature hits through. I don't know exactly what I was thinking there. Well, still pretty cool. I wonder if they accept this trade then. Probably not. And I'd rather have the Gaia's Gift. It's actually... Yeah, so it's not whenever something's turned face up, but we still got to restock our hand quite nicely. Resolute Reinforcements. Whenever one or more face-down creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. And then when a face-down creature you control dies, you return it to the battlefield face down. And if it's a permanent, you flip it face up as well. Oh, Harbin coming down. Dude, this is going to be a tough uphill battle. We definitely need to see some of our explosive damage here. Copperline Gorge comes tapped, unfortunately. Picnic Ruiner isn't terrible. We get to plug some counters on. Hide in Plain Sight isn't terrible. And neither is the Gaia's Gift. All of this is going to be swinging in the air next turn, guys. So Gaia's Gift, keeping that open for some reach to take care of the Harbin is going to be huge for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep as much open as possible. We're going to get Picnic Ruin down. And then keep the Gaia's Gift as a little bit of a surprise for their flying creatures. We shouldn't die next turn either. This Siege Veteran has been a problem, dude. Not letting us actually swing in effectively has been rough. Oh, that gets haste too. So we could totally swing here, get the double strike, and then have the Gaia's Gift open for a little bit of a bonus. Maybe it trades. I think we're on the defense though right now. Hopefully this ends up working out then. Hopefully. Yeah, the goal here is to get them to full swing thinking they're getting it all into the air. And then we take care of the Harbin with the Gaia's Gift. And then we retaliate next turn with a full swing. Okay, they go on to reinforcements. Yep. So everything's going into the air. I want to full control so I don't miss this. I don't want to miss this on my blocking step here. Been trying to be a little bit more cautious about accidentally passing. That's 11. So if we end up... Oh, bro. Okay, we're in trouble. So we got to make sure that we can block the Harbin. But like how much... Okay, we can get rid of the full control now. How much excess damage is getting through? So 10, 17. Holy cow, dude. Oh my goodness. And then they get an... Oh, they get a 1-1 from the Siege Veteran, so they get the block anyways. Oh no. Well, it doesn't look like we were going to have anything too explosive here, regardless. So this cost 3. If we do hide in plain sight first, it'll cost 2. But then we don't have the prowess. See, they get that chump blocker. Okay, Fugitive Codebreaker. Expose the Culprit. So I guess Codebreaker face down. And there's nothing we can do about anything else here, right? But the Monstrous Rage would be so good in our hand, though. Oh, no. Rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. Crap. Okay, well then we flip one of the Codebreakers and restock our hand, and we might see an untapped source with like another Monstrous Rage, but now a lot of them are at the bottom, unfortunately. So yeah, we turn face up. Because we're like dead next turn, probably. Especially if they see like another Harbin. Monstrous Rage, Karplusan Forest, a Picnic Ruiner gets double strike. Prowess. Okay, guys. Here it comes. Full swing. Picnic Ruiner gets the double strike. Let's see where they block. Because that matters. They block the 5/5 probably, right? We got 5. Picnic Ruiner. Oh, they just... Oh, Picnic Ruiner. There we go. Picnic Ruiner. Monstrous Rage. Prowess. That's an extra 2. That's 7. 4 getting through the double strike. That should be it, right? 4 from the face down cards. Another 5. So -5. Okay. So no matter what, even if they blocked the 5/5 here, the Picnic Ruiner, Monstrous Rage was still going to get them down to 0. What a time, dude. That's the match we end on. Just a beautiful showcase of the explosive power, taking out soldiers. Gaia's Gift blocking in the air there for us. What a time. Bro, I couldn't be more happy and more satisfied. Is it a janky list? Yeah, probably. Hey, my second incinerator. Cool. Got to build with that scene. Anyways, is it janky? Yeah, probably, right? But boy, oh boy, does it know how to plug some explosive damage through. Exactly what I wanted to see from the list. I just couldn't be any more happy. The games that we lost were like, oh man, are we going to win this turn? And then it just happened that the opponents had what they needed. But like, that's what the losses felt like. You know what I mean? Picnic Ruiner was great. I think the 2 of was good. 2 of Yarus, that was good. Hide in Plain Sight came in handy. The extra card draw on the Codebreaker was wild in that last game, dude. Performer was so explosive. The 4 Giant Growths, 4 Play with Fires, the 4 Monstrous Rage seemed pretty good. I could see dropping a Giant Growth and going up something else. That could also give Trample too. Now, like, there's some cards in Standard that give like +2/+2 in Trample, for example. That might be okay. That being said, just like +3/+3 for 1 mana is still pretty good. So it depends. It depends how much you think the opponents are going to be chump blocking in your current Standard that you're seeing. So anything else, guys? Oh man. Goblin Maskmaker even seemed a little bit okay, didn't it? I could see dropping down to 3 of these, though, and going up, yeah, just more stuff to help aid that explosion, or more ways to protect our creatures too, potentially. The double Expose the Culprit seemed pretty good. It kind of did a thing today, didn't it? The Clan Basher kind of did a thing too. The mana was totally fine. We did play the Branch as a creature, even though it didn't do anything. It's something to consider, right? When we had too much mana on the board already. Yeah, dude, nice. Holy cow. Guys, made it this far into the video for real. Y'all are champions. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link. Great place for the community to just chat it up, drop some deck lists, drop some suggestions. Then also down there in the description, we have that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Alrighty, guys. Hey, I will see you in the next video.